What is going on, Weekend Warriors? My name is Ty, and I have always with me Kyle here, and we're the Weekend Warriors Disc Golf Podcast. Welcome back. We are here and living life as always. A lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna be, definitely hitting the Open of Austin of what happened, all the goodies and stuff like that. Also, we'll do a preview 2024 United States Women's Disc Golf Championship presented by Mint Disc. We're going to be popping in with Rodney's Corner on that to talk about that. So we're going to be going through all the breakdown and stuff. It's actually, as always, obviously you could tell we pre-record that. So we wait a little bit longer, so we're going to jump into that pretty quick for this podcast because we definitely went a little bit longer on talking about the Open in Austin because obviously a lot happened, a lot of
Good
good
discussion.
things, the big good discussions. Yes. But obviously we gotta throw it down because I mean Nicholas Ansel finally winning it, becoming the first Finnish player to come over here in the States and winning it. So super great emotional moment. We have to give that honor to him, and also just some good stuff too, good things about the commentary happening, the production side of things. It definitely raising their bar, which is nice. And then also a couple other things as well. But before we get into that, obviously we have to do our amazing sponsor ad read. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom design, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golf can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed design. No matter what you throw, Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a very nice note to each customer. Make sure to check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, it is out of the world. Also, if you type in gravitydiscgolf.com, there might be a little surprise on the front page. So definitely
Yes.
may want to look into that. We'll get
We're
into that a little bit
stepping
further.
up our game.
Yeah, you may want to type in gravitydiscgolf.com quickly just to kind of see some news if you want to check it out quickly to spoil what's going to happen. But as of right now, we're going into Rodney's Corner to talk about the amazing stuff that happened the last week and also what's coming up. So we will see you guys right there. Alrighty, so we are here in Rodney's Corner. We're going to be doing obviously the playback of the Open at Austin. Kind of give you guys the update on that, update on the points, and also just a little bit of things that we watched. Some interesting topics I guess we could talk about as well throughout for what happened. Nothing too crazy, just just some insight on some things. And then also we will go through our preview show for the United States Women's Championship presented by Mint Disc. That is this weekend. So technically, it is very important for them. So we don't want to like just skip it. So we're gonna actually pick players, like we normally do. So we will still be doing picks. The only thing that's gonna be different is because there is no NPO this weekend. We will be picking 6 women, so 6 FPO, so the top 6. That's what we're gonna be doing. So that's how we could try to keep the points kind of going. So pretty much the same. It's same spot, or if you guess the right spot, it's 2 points. If you just have them in your top 6, it's just 1. So that's how we can keep points just pretty much equal. Also gives me an opportunity to hopefully catch up because I'm just a little lacking on that. So without anything else on that part, I'm going to pass the mic to our amazing person, Rodney.
Okay, so for the Open at Austin, Rodney myself got 2 points for FPO and 2 points for MPO, so I had 4 total. Tyler had 1 point for FPO and no points for MPO, so he got 1 point. And then Kyle got 2 points for FPO and 1 point for MPO, so he had 3 points. So the total so far for points is Rodney, 12 points, Tyler, 7 points, and Kyle, 9 points.
Woo. Let's talk about it. So first off, I
Get
was
better. Get better.
not even get better. The players that I was picking, they were doing so well at the beginning part, and second round, Ali Smith could have easily been in the top three, but she decided to bogey to take literally all of her birdies out, and it's just if she was able just to play just clean golf, which I get it was crazy with the weather and all that. Um, I would have had her in my top three, and dang, I just need to start picking with my gut because also another player that I was going to be picking was Cat Merge, and she immediately popped off, and I was like, gosh, dang it! Like, of course, I literally bring it up, and she doesn't, and I didn't even pick her. So I need to start picking my honorable mentions instead of my main gut feeling. That's what I've realized.
Yeah. I just want to take a moment for like I said, my go-to is always going to be Tatar up there because it's Tatar. But I was so glad to get that wrong for Own to take this win. Like she played that gap between like she just like she was zoned in. She did amazing. She broke a record.
Hmm.
Incredible to watch her. Incredible.
Yeah, no, it was amazing watching golf like that. There was no chance of anybody catching up. That's what was amazing about it. There's nobody had a shot coming back. She just played so clean of golf, and it was really good seeing it. I'm really glad she was able to perform like that. She's never won an event that had Tatar in it. The only time she's ever won was when Tatar was not there. So her being able to take one down with her in the field
Mm,
was excellent, which shows that yes, anybody can do it. So a huge momentum swing for Own,
mm.
for anybody in the field to be like, oh, we just gotta play clean and great golf. But I mean, I don't playing as well as she did, that was just
Yeah.
of nature in that round. Like it was just
And
unbelievable.
she literally of how well she was playing, like those even far putts when she had such a lead, I was like, she is doing like all gas, no brakes, no mercy. Like she's playing her golf right now. She is feeling so good. But how humble she is what I love about her so much. Like, they're asking, like, you just broke this record. How are you feeling coming in this coming up week? And she's like, I'm just excited if I hit the top 10. And I'm like, oh, you are having an incredible season so far. And she's still just like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm glad I'm playing good. Let's see what happens. It could be anybody's game. And she's like the highest rate, like she's on a roll right now. But just how like I want to squeeze her. I just love her so much. She's so adorable. Um,
Um,
so great.
yeah, and they talked about it though too. Actually, they made a comment about it on how um the women's cards when they film and when they're like Nate Perkins is down on the field and stuff like that. It's a whole different atmosphere. They're out there having fun, joking around each other, very entertaining and everything else. He's he was talking about how just how much more enjoyment it is when you do get to watch them, and that people do need to get out to watch the FPO field and stuff because there is a lot of enjoyment from them talking, just having fun with it. Where if you do go to a lot of the and I went to an event and it is very quiet when you watch the MPO side with the cards. Like it's just it's game. Like there's no joking around. There's every once in a while you see in the video, some people laughing at things here and there, but if you follow the cards, you realize there is not a lot of joking around or talking and everything else. It's very we're doing this.
Yeah.
and
Go ahead, Tyler.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely, like I don't want to bypass the factor that Owen Scoggins is doing this at 42 years old.
Oh,
She
it's
is
amazing.
one of the oldest. I don't want to say the oldest, but one of the oldest. On the FPO side, and just allowing her to be able to do that at this age is truly amazing. Just showing just how like incredible that is on that part. And then also, I do want to talk about the commentary on that with Nate Perkins. Like, dude is freaking outstanding. I don't really know what anybody's like opinion on him, stuff like that. But to me personally, he's adding another layer that disc golf really needs, and that's the story side. As a filmmaker myself, and just video production aspect of it in general, what he's doing is just adding an extra layer where you're getting more storylines with players, where you can start personalizing what's happening throughout each week, and is creating a story like that, and you get to finally get a more personable feeling with these characters, well, players, but I mean, like, in general, like they are in a way a character, like where each person has their own personality, their own brand, and then that's when really you start gaining more of that fan base with said player. And it's just cool because I mean, like, him walking on that, even though he only did it on like hole one, and he did it a couple times too, I believe. I don't fully remember, but I do know at least after when they did the hole one, they would go on the bridge, and he'll just be like, "Hey, Owen, like, how you doing? Like, how you feeling with X, Y, and Z, or whatever it was." Like, it just added that layer. Same thing with when he did that with like Matty O and a couple other places as well. Especially what was it that a couple of years or a couple of weeks back when it was Gannon Burr versus Luke Humphreys. Like, it was like, how you guys feeling, like, playing together, stuff like that. It's just adding that little extra piece as well. It's just they're definitely stepping up their game, production wise, and is definitely showing that they are doing it. And especially, I do want to give. I don't know if, like, obviously we're still small, but it's just interesting how there's still some minor things that they needed to fix, but definitely, I think it was the second round or third round, even the commentators, Ian, was like, they are showing so much action right now, and they actually were like in the right spot, showing actual disc golf. They weren't adding filler shots of like just people standing or anything like that. They were actually showing the sport, and people playing. And so it was really cool that the production aspect definitely stepped up a little bit. At the same time, though, it could have been just simply location. Obviously, this is a golf course, so it might have been a little bit easier compared to like Waco or even chess.com. I don't think that was even a like, it was probably amazing to play, but I don't think it was good for spectators aspect, because I know there was really hilly and stuff like that. So I don't know if this gave them the opportunity to be able to do that. But other than that, though, the production was somewhat better. It's like, I would give it maybe 80% there as of right now to like really hone in on that.
Yeah, I can see
I
that. And Nate Perkins, not only Nate Perkins, I want to give a shout out to Brian Earhart as well, down there on the
100%.
ground. A lot of times, if it's not Nate Perkins, it's Brian Earhart.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Earhart is actually full time with Pro Tour. Like, he's hired, he works for them on the production side of everything. So I know he's done a lot for the sport itself as well on that end of things. And yeah, like you said, it's awesome having him down there when it does work, because there's still issues here and there where it does go in and out, and you're like, oh no, or they'll be like, oh hey nerd, what does that look at OB out there? How
Yeah,
is things feelings? In this
there's that
exact
totally.
moment, it's
yeah,
just
and then it's like
she's
Yeah.
quiet,
that
getting
quick.
answers, and then it's Ian starts talking again, like, oh, oh yeah, she looks like she did go out of bounds, or
Yeah, I was gonna say I like that they're down there, but the only issue is like if something's happening, they obviously can't talk. So it's that awkward space of like
Mhm.
what's happening, and then the people in the room is kind of like, do we keep going, do we stop? It's like one of those situations, but it is helpful when sometimes like we can't see it at all, so they're like, hey, can you see him? Like it was like, for example, like the Maddie one when he was in the trees, they're like, can you see him at all, or is he like buried the way the top camera shows? And he's like, nope, can't see him at all, but he apparently has a opening where he can see to throw, but we're like, I can't see him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it also like having the cameras with them and like having him down there does add, like it makes them more human than just being like, oh, you're just a sports player or like you're just a disc golfer. Like for example, and I'm gonna be honest about it, like one interview last year, I think, Cat Merch, I did not like her attitude for it. She was very just like, it was her first time up there, and Nate was very like, oh my gosh, like you're finally like, how does it feel to be here? Like that's so exciting for you. And she was like, oh, I'm always up here. Like, and just kind of shut it down. And he was like awkwardly like, I don't know how to keep going because like this is your first time like big up here. But then seeing her here, she was joking around, having fun, doing whatever. So it's like it shows a different side of her than what me after that interview. I was like, oh, why did she? I don't like the way she answered that.
So Cat merges kind of a different person. Like she's fun and very entertaining. Love watching her play. Love watching her and own dance and everything else.
Yeah.
But I think there is that weird awkwardness anytime you do interview her because just don't think she knows how to handle it or deal with it.
She's
So
not a
she
good
makes it very
interviewer.
no, she makes it very awkward for the interviewee,
Yeah.
like
Because that was
stuff
my
like that.
first, like,
So
being newer with it. And I was like, oh, I've never seen her name before. Like, she's up there. And she, like, shut him down, like, these answers. I was like, I don't like this.
like,
Like,
even interviewing her for this tournament when she was up there, they had that interview with her and her point and everything else. She's like, she just the way she answers, it's very short and like, wait, now where do I go from here? But it's just kind of her.
her. Yeah. Because it was nice seeing her, like, with Own, like, goofing off and having fun and doing whatever. I was like, okay, so that's not her. Like, it's her, but, like, she's not like that to everybody. It's just like
Right.
getting interviewed is not her thing.
Which is
Nah,
nice seeing her
yeah.
up there too. Just like Katrina Allen was up there for a little bit, but there's Own taking it down, as you said. Um her, uh
And
Kristen catching back up, getting second,
yes.
and Missy third, because Missy wasn't even supposed to get third. Like, let's be honest here. What happened yet again? I know.
Yes. No, it's the
Oh,
group. And yeah, that
18.
was,
And she three putts it. So
yeah,
she goes from third, drops tied for four
yeah,
because she took a two-stroke swing there.
yeah. That was, yeah, because Missy was, yeah, not up there. And then at the end, she tied for third. And so I also think, and I've said this because even, I mean, Henna still ended up there, but like she missed her final putt and had to go again. Like it was like supposed to be a birdie and went for a bogey. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I feel like they get to the point where they're just like over it. But I'm like, you still got to slow down and putt. Like it still counts. It still matters. And it was just like, oh, I missed it. Like, let's just get this over with. Cause there's a lot of spectators, there's a lot of people watching. And it's like,
Mhm.
Even
nerve.
that though, she lost what, $800 because
Yeah.
of that. Like she just lost 800 hours from going from third,
Yeah.
or was it second? I don't even remember what it was, third or
She was,
second, or
I
I think
think
it
she
was third.
third, tied
That
for
was
third, I
third.
think.
Yeah, tied for third to dropping down to tied for fourth. She lost I think it was somewhere around $800 for going from a birdie, finishing it off clean, going to a bogey. So she's really got to clean that up. But
Yeah.
it's been a struggle since she's been here.
Yeah. That's true. But very fun to watch. I'm glad to see more people are showing up for FPO and spectating. Not obviously, it's not going to be as much as the guys, but the crowd was very fun. own, doing her little cheer run back and forth. Like, and I'm like, I just everybody celebrating, and it was good to see, and I'm excited to be able to um do the same. So yeah. And then thoughts on, because I Tyler and I talked about it a little bit. But thoughts on MPO. God.
When I heard the roar of the crowd when Nicholas hit his putt to win it, just goosebumps went off my forearms, and I sat down on the couch in the corner because we were watching the show, and I had my phone sitting there, and that's how I watch it all the time. I'm just like, yes, and then I look over at Molly and I say, "Look at this eruption from this crowd! This is amazing." She's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "This is." Oh.
No, it was good. I mean, yeah, we'll go more into that because like there's a lot of layers on that. But yeah, it's
There is, but
exciting.
it was
Obviously,
amazing.
first Finnish player, finish. Am I saying
Finish.
that right? It
Yeah.
sounds like I'm saying finish, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody will know what I'm trying to say. So I just cool, just
Finished.
finished, whatever. Uh, absolutely amazing. For him to finally take it. He even said he wanted to be the first player ever to do that, and he did. And you very emotional at the end, obviously, which like so
Well
amazing to
deserved.
finally see. Well deserved. He was working hard, which the thing is we've been talking about this since he arrived.
So
We've been
good.
waiting. We've
We've
been
been
waiting.
waiting. Like it was just like everyone's like he has such a unique style. Like I said, he's very mechanicalism with like
Mhm.
his style of like drives and all of that. Like I even kept telling I'm like, because I even brought this up. I think it was like the first week or something, or like the first stop. Um, and I think also Waco too. I kept pointing it out to Sarah. I was like, look at his form. I was like, he's the
Mhm.
only one that's like really doing the most extreme on like how you're supposed to really like do it. Which at the same time, there is a debate that's like we don't really know
Mhm.
how to properly drive. Everybody has their own style, but he's the only one that really like every single time he steps up, it looks identical every single
Mhm.
time. And it's insane to just see to have that muscle memory and mechanicalism that he has. But yeah, other than that, like it was truly amazing to see him win it. All I have to say is Discmania, you guys have a stacked
Own it.
team right now. If we really want to look at a
Stacked.
team's perspective, like
Oh,
we almost went the top three was almost going to be freaking
This mania.
Nicholas Antela, Kyle Klein, and Gannon Burr. They're all up there. Like they almost took first, second, and third. Like we're almost looking
I-
like if it's like we're watching F1. It's just the Red Bull team the entire time. Like it.
which I love that the Pro Tour, Brody and uh Yuli have like a manufacturers cup going on right now with like a whole point
Yeah.
system and everything. And just this mania, like they pointed out, this mania had all those points, but yet MVP has had none. Like that's how crazy it is. But also, I mean, let's be honest here. I know Simon's started out really slow so far, but
Yeah.
there's no ego.
There's
There's
no
no
ego.
ego. Yeah, that makes it
Yeah.
rough too. But um, you know, but this mania though, overall though,
But
in their
we
way their
also
point system work, they're dominating right now. They're number one.
But at the
They
same time, though, we can't discount also James Conrad. James Conrad's been here the entire time, and he hasn't been doing anything either
Nope.
for MVP. So it's like the thing is like everyone forgets that James Conrad is still technically with the MVP. Like they're still doing things.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. And he's no slouch, it's just the field's getting harder to play in, so
yeah,
he's not finishing up there. But I mean, and that's what I was really worried about with Nicholas Antela, for the Austin Open is I I thought about putting him up there, but it's just like one of those things like, okay, I know he just missed it last week, but
Yeah.
if he does get it on the final card, the next week he goes back down to around that 15th, fighting for top 10. So that's just kind of how he plays. Like, oh, yeah, 2 rounds in a row, he looked solid, extremely good. So I'm really excited to see him perform this whole year, or this whole year as well. And somebody that we did pick, Anthony Barella, just missed again. So he's right there. He again, you know what I mean? He's not finishing
Yeah.
9th, 8th to 15th. Yeah, again, he's in the top 5. Gannon Burr just missed out as well. I want to just give I mean, obviously Kyle Klein finished second, Calvin
Which
Heinberg 3, fantastic. But a quick shout out too as well to a name that I know we haven't brought up, but he has been fighting in the lead card, get at least the second round, or his name is the top 10 over and over every week, I think. I just gotta give it out, shout out to Mr. Buckets himself, Joseph Anderson. Been
Yeah.
playing solid this
Yeah.
season. Super solid.
solid.
It's just super solid. Been really fun to see.
Everybody is knowing his name very quickly.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Mhm.
there's buckets and like doing incredible shots and just. But I also
He's getting up there.
this was a my bad. I'm so glad I picked who I picked. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't know my boy Calvin was back, and I was like, oh, if I had known, I would have picked him. He came back in and was like, elbow injury not going to affect me. Like I'm here. Like know that I'm back on this field. Like I was like, oh, there he is. And then the fact that like just Kyle Klein has been just getting like he's always been one of my favorite
That was
young guns,
good.
but so good. Like he was in the third card and he was almost gonna win. Like incredible. Like that's some good golf to be able to hold your position with that many holes left. But yeah, seeing Nikolai, sorry, just get emotional, and then Kristen Tatar shouted that out and says, "I know that feeling of like that first win of that emotion for your people, you know." Um, and like she said, there's more coming from him. Like, don't even doubt. Like, and now that pressure of being the first one is done, it's gone now. Like, he can just do him, continue. But like he said in an interview, like there was a lot of like, I wanted to get that first one over with. Like I want to cherish it, but I want that pressure gone. It's gone now. So, and he's been playing incredible. I can't wait to see him continue to just take it over. I also want to say that I love the unseriousness, but seriousness of the young guys playing, like cheering each other on, supporting each other. Like Gannon was recording him do his final shot, shared it, but then like Kyle Klein shared a goofy TikTok of him doing a dance, congratulating him. It's like they're buddies on and off the field. I mean, it helps that they're like they're all Discmanias, they're teammates, but like all of them are like this for everything. Like they are genuinely are friends on and off the field and just have fun.
Which when you have a group like that, it also helps you because like Alden Harris is known for his vlogs and everything else. They're fun watches. So when you have him also a part of Discmania, best friends with Gannon, Kyle Klein's getting involved with that as well now. He's not really. I know they were all the Crush Bros and stuff like that, but like he didn't really fit in too well with them too. Simon and Eagle, I think, just has a unique friendship of them two that are just it's super awesome to see. Oh, that's Alden and Gannon, but Kyle really fits with them too, age wise
Yes,
and everything else. It's
age.
just it's
But I
really well.
also love the new thing, like Tyler pointed out, was I originally first saw it was Gannon and Kyle mocking each other of how they did it. And then Calvin mocked Gannon, and then Gannon mocked how Calvin went. I'm like, that's just so fun to show. Like, it's not all like the moment we're on the field. It's like you guys don't exist to me. It's like they're all buds that are traveling the world together playing a sport they love, and it's like individual sport but also still kind of team based because you're your sponsor, but it's all just solo. So it's fun to see. And like you said, Kyle, like he was always compared as like a mini Eagle, but like never had the age gap is relevant of like what their humor is compared to what, Eagle's humor is. And like you said, the moment Simon and Eagle like were instant connection. And then out of sports fans, but like our teams, Calvin and Eagle always joke around and did videos together. And Klein was just kind of like the young gun in the chillin', where now he's with the other young guns type deal. So very fun to watch them.
Yeah, and I do want to give one more shout out too. Before I ask Ty, a question on this, I do want to give one more shout out to Gavin Rathbun again. He's doing it himself, but another top 15 finish. He's been putting out the work there because again, he got injured, wasn't able to compete most of the time, and then when he came back, he wasn't really placing or doing much. Really find a sponsorship because him and DD left and everything else. So he's just doing all this on his own right now, and he's showing out. So he deserves to hopefully get a sponsorship somewhere at some point. So Ty, I know you've been mentioning this week in and week out. Any notable names, some notable names that missed out on cashing this week?
Missing out on cash this week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't really get too far into it, honestly, for this one, because I was really focused on the factor of um PGA. Well, let me pop up my notes because I do have some notes on that. But at the same time, though, before we get into it, I'm gonna clap back with an actual question. Is
Is that the one we talked about?
Yeah, speaking about the cash out part, there's right now it's 50-50. I've been kind of going through kind of the notes on like some people. I went through Reddit, I went through a couple places as well. But what so obviously this week we had a lot of like weather issues. And
Mm-hmm.
so what are your thoughts on if we have issues with weather on day 3, should there be technically a cut? Doesn't have to, like, obviously not as far down, but
But like a 4.
Yeah.
like pretty much of like a because each, like, obviously round 4 is even round 5s. Round 5 actually has 2 cuts, obviously,
Mhm.
for that. But then day 4, they normally do a cut. But for the actual, so I'm gonna actually, because I finally have it up. So my question is, should there be a cut on certain rounds that are having weather issues? Because let's be honest here, even though Nicholas did technically win, he shot that last shot in the dark. He could not, he even said, he's like, I could not see the basket. He goes,
Mhm.
luckily I've played in the dark before where I just kind of aimed higher and it cashed in. But that, let's be honest here, that was not an easy putt. He was
No.
further
Of course
back
not.
and he did it in pitch black. So when you're dealing with time and all that situation, I feel they should have cut. And like, I'm not saying like a hard cut. I'm talking about, so right now there was 112 players, but out of the 112, 4 of them DNF'd. So technically 108 players played.
Hmm.
The last cashed was 44th play. Oh, yeah, because there's a massive tie. That's why. Um, So technically 44th place, and it jumps up to 52 because there's like literally like 8 people on the
Right.
44th. All the 44th place. So there's this year. It was Casey White, Chris Clemens, Alden Harris, Paul Yulee. Randy, Linus, Ezra Adahold, Zachary Nash. And then Drew Gibson is the first person that did not
Oh,
cash.
he just missed.
He
Yeah.
missed cash by one. But out of those, I don't know how did I say it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Those 9 players, they all divided up the last cash, which they walked away with $95. Cool.
Mhm.
Like, that's fine. But I'm saying, even let's just say, I don't know, probably up to 60 players. So of the top 60. So that still gives you room from 60th on to really fight for, cash, which leaves only one out of this that I'm seeing. It leaves 2, 4, 6, 8. It leaves 10 players non-cash. They're not getting cash at all.
Mhm.
So it gives a 10-player grace, but it also eliminates a ton of cards for us to be able to probably finish on time. And also, because of the whole weather situation, we actually missed 2 holes, which we don't
3.
know what could have
I
happened.
think 3 holes.
I thought it was 2 holes.
I thought it was 3. Maybe it was just 2.
To my knowledge, they said we're skipping 2 holes.
I thought it was
So
12, 13, and 15, but I could be wrong.
I have no idea. Regardless, we missed holes. But the thing is they could have, you don't know what could have happened on those holes. Like, to
Right.
be completely honest. Like, so for us to have to skip holes and then also still with the final card playing in dark time or in the dark would, like, what would honestly could have potentially happened. So my question is before I go into some notable people, because there are actually a ton of notable people that did not make cash and also were very close to last place, which sadly, to point it out, Scott Stokely was the second to last person, which was, that's upsetting. But he still shot at 10-18. So
Unbelievable.
but other than that, though, what's your thought on that? Because it's right now online, it is literally 50-50. People are like, if you pay, if you paid, you should be able to play. Which I agree. Like,
Mhm.
you should be able to have the opportunity to play, but at the same time, though,
here's the issue. Right. I'm just gonna point out one thing, and I get the cash part of it. The bigger factor in all of this is points.
Mm.
They are still fighting for points to get into the championship at the end of the year.
that is very
So
true.
if you cut them out, suddenly they might have missed a couple positions, couple points worth that could have got them into the championship at the end of the year. And that is the biggest thing right now. At the same time, I do agree, though, there needs to be something worked out, something to do to figure out a way to not let them finish in the dark,
That's
per
so
se,
that's
or like get some kind of if you, I mean, they travel with so much equipment anyways. If there's a way to travel at least with like some kind of lighting equipment that you could set up along the sides, some behind some tree, you know what I mean? Just to light up the fairways enough and the basket, just to give, I mean, glow rounds. They have the lights on top of the baskets that just you put on the top of it and it glows the basket up, just so you can have something to look at. Yeah, it's so difficult to figure this out, and obviously we're a young sport. They're still trying to figure out. They cut a couple holes just because they're trying to figure out any way to not lose too much, because you don't want to completely cut players from being able to gain points.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's what we were talking about. Like a lot of comments were saying, like, okay, at what point do we have to cut the 100 when you know it's bad weather? Like FPO got delayed like almost 2 hours. MPO didn't
Mhm.
start, league card didn't start till 5:30. Sunsets at 6:30. Like, and they
Mhm.
were like rushing them, but that's not fair to the league card who are fighting for the win. And then like they were talking about like, what do we do if it goes to playoff?
I will say though that this is where, and I get the delay is the main cause of it, but this is where the slow players that people are complaining about pace, the pace of play,
They were on a roll this week too.
need to make sure keeping up.
No, they're
Because when you start falling
definitely
behind, so you
Yeah.
need like this is another situation that pace of play is a massive thing, and I think Gannon got called for it. Was it Gannon? He got
Last week he
and
got called for it.
Nicholas.
Oh, it was
Nicholas
last
this
week?
week.
Nicholas this week.
Nicholas.
Gannon-
Then yep.
yeah. No, but that was
So
like everyone's like, I'm so glad he made that shot and just wanted and ended it. But like they kept pointing out, like the camera that was showing him was enhanced so brightly. Here's what it really looked like. And everyone's like, oh, that was
see.
dark. Like,
Mhm.
and then he's facing a huge light, like shining in him. Like everyone said, like, don't disregard, like that was not an easy putt, regardless of the lit distance. But like he said, he saw the flag and just threw it, like hoped for the best. Like, but like they said, like those people are really fighting for the win and the money and like all that. Like, how is that fair when the people that were fighting for, like you said, points? I get it now. Like, because I was like, at what point do you just cut them where you could start the people when FPO's playing up and like, all right, you guys are not gonna get money.
But
Like, let's just kind of
yeah.
cut. You keep moving because of the weather. Like you said, like the longer tournaments you cut them so it's not wasting their time.
So
But
It doesn't
this
have to
is
be
the
a
other
deep
thing
cut
too, though.
though. I mean, to be honest.
We're like, what if they do this? When you fall in those situations, okay, you got day one, day two, but you did said I get you the argument of you pay to play, right? So you don't want to be really skipping out on too many rounds. I don't know what kind of effect that has. It's something maybe I'll even ask, do a shout out to Brody or Julie on the question, see if they can answer this. What if day three, final round, it just is just a new rule? It may not be able to be something that happens till next year. It may not even be a whole lot of players. What if day three, if you are even or worse, you don't get to play day three, no matter what, even if in 3-day tournament, because you're not going to get anything out of it anyway. If you are playing even or worse, you're just auto cut. You know what I mean? Day three. That's still up to 79. So it's still a lot, but still cuts those late cards.
And
right?
you're honestly, you're correct on that because literally last cash was under 9 par. And then the first
Mhm.
non-cash, Drew Gibson, he finished with the under 8 par. So technically you're right. Like that under 8, like you still have to get under 8 par to even get to potentially cast the last cash position. The person who was in even, the last person that was even, it was tied with 4 players. His name was Nick Newton, and that's 85th place. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like, and it's just like, I agree with that. But I mean, like at the same time, though, like I just think in general, like, even though, because I know there's some even players, like Brody even mentions it. It's like just take me out. Like, I'm not going to play well. Like, I'd rather just pack up, go home, or pack up and just move to the next place and start practicing. Like,
well, yeah, because if they DNF, they don't get any points at all. But if they get cut, do they still get those points if like what they played those first 2 days?
Yeah, you get the points for what you finished.
So
if you finish 85, you get those points for 85th. So you
Yeah.
just end it, you just can't gain anymore.
Yeah,
So,
Not
like-
there.
because that's what
basically-
everybody's comments were like, when do we start this? Because the fact that it was and that's what these people say, like, obviously that's the thing about disc golf. It is outside, you play in rain or shine, but when it comes to lightning, you obviously cannot play. It's not safe. You don't know how long that's going to be. And like, you know how mad and disappointed it would be if they just had to cancel it and be like, wherever they are, they are. Like, we would have missed such great disc golf. But it's just like they were saying, like, this lead card is playing in the dark, guys. Like, this isn't when do we start? Even the announcers are like, when do we start kind of changing? Because if this goes into a playoff, like, what do we do? Like, they kind of joked of like closest to pin or whatever, but they're like, we're not a C tier, we are pros. How are we gonna make this work? Because we're not gonna have them end on a tie. But I just never seen that situation where it's like, all right, what do we do now? Because having 100+ people come in and a delay like this happens,
I just
when do you start helping the lead and the chase
Mhm.
and the third, when do you start helping them?
in general, I to be honest, I feel like safety should be top priority over points. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I mean, it needs to be safety and also the least even ground play of as much as possible, because I know there's technically still variables on certain things, but it should be as much as equal as possible for opportunity chances. So yes, I agree with Yuli. Even he talks about it all the time. He goes 10 a.m. slot, weather is always different between 2 p.m. slot.
Mhm.
And I do agree with that. Like the weather, the wind, all the reads are completely different from the morning time to the more afternoon, evening time. Totally understand that. So there has been times where FPO, it's super nice. Nothing's really happening. It's still, and then when MPO starts playing, it becomes like 15-mile-per-hour wind, little sprinkle rain or whatever. Like that could happen.
Yeah.
However, though, this is now we're talking about no light at all. There is no light, and it's now obscure where technically all of them could have really missed, because 18 was very demanding with a lot of the skinny trees, and just it was a very demanding par four. So it was just like I just felt it wasn't really fair for a lead car to finish when literally a lot of them were just it was right there. Like there were so many things. Like I feel this would have been more of a conversation piece if Nicholas missed his putt
Mm-hmm.
because of the darkness. However,
Mhm.
he made it where they're just kind of brushing it under the rug, and it's just like, oh no, he's good, like everything was all great. But like in reality, retrospect, like if you really were there, and also if you watched some of the phone videos, it's dark, there's no light at all.
Or like you said, one of the angles for the camera, even the announcers talked about it, like, oh, that's too grainy. Like this angle, like this isn't.
Oh, they boost that ISO on
They
that one.
boosted it. It was so bad. But then like they kept showing, like the announcers kept saying, I don't know who it was, but he was like, it is not this bright outside.
Mhm.
It's not as bright as it is. And they finally showed a different angle. And then that's when they're like, this is how it really is, just so you guys know or aware. And it's like, at what point do they, like they said, like, yeah, there's glow disc and all that, but that's a totally different tournament. Like this is a pro level. When do we, like you said, like do we
Mhm.
add the lights towards dark of like to
Mhm.
help just to anything? And it's new, and this is a situation that like this hasn't happened. So, but a lot of comments on it was like, I'm so glad he won. I'm so glad he made that putt. But at what point do we start cutting when it's so they can kind of keep moving so that it's
Mhm.
a fair advantage for all of them compared to, because it's different with like weather. Like if you play earlier for the guys and then as the day goes on, it starts raining, like you sign up for it, that's going to happen. You can't control that. But when you're fighting the light like that, they're like running through these holes to try and beat the light. And that's, yeah. But yeah, we just wanted your input. We didn't know because that I saw that conversation the moment it was announced that he won. The comments were like, all right, what is your guys' take on this? Like, what's happening? And
Right.
yeah,
So yeah, we don't want to harp too much on it,
yeah.
but pretty much to answer your question, Kyle, here are some honorable mentions of people that did not make cash. That just is it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy to see these names down here, dude.
Mhm.
Drew Gibson, first one, 52th
Mhm.
place. 52th place as well, tied with him. Colt Montgomery, 56. Eric Oakley, 62nd, Jeremy Colling. Let's talk about the 2021 USDGC winner, Nathan Queen. He's down here, 62th place. Chandler Kramer, Chandler Fry, Evan Scott, another winner, Parker Welk, Tristan Tanner, Garrett Gerthy, Ben Calloway, Nico LaCastro in 85th place.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Gilbert, 93rd place. Brody Smith, 97th place. I mean, this is just insane. And then Scott Scotley, sadly, he's 107th place. Second, like I said, second to last if you don't count the DNF players.
Right.
But I mean,
A lot of those names when I started watching disc golf were easily in the top 20. So that's insane.
Fighting for
Yeah.
lead cards and stuff
Or
like that.
fighting for lead card. Like that just shows you how stacked both. Because I mean, even for FPO, like
well, I remember Ben Calloway up there almost like top 10 almost every time at one point. He was up there a good amount of times. And Thomas Gilbert was at least like in the 20th positions. Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
and those are the players that didn't make any cash.
That zero, they made zero money. I mean, obviously most of them are sponsors, so they probably
So they but they didn't
you
cash
know,
out anything from
because I mean, like obviously Jeremy Colling probably gets a good check from Joe Maz because he does Joe Maz. But yeah, most of these players do have it. I do want to mention, because you mentioned it, Kyle, Gavin Rathpun, he did finish in 15th place. He walked out with $1,050. So
That's
Very
awesome.
good.
a good
And
little paycheck.
he's doing this without a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I just kind of like looked him up because Tyler's like, oh, he's from Illinois, and I looked him up, and his girlfriend actually works and sells for the like the merch during the tours. So that's how she makes money because they do
She works
van
at
line.
DGPT.
Yeah, she does the selling for the shirts and stuff on tours when they play. And I was like, that's such a fun thing. Like, that's cool.
Any honorable mentions for FPO? Paige Pierce, she was in 40th.
I do want to say though, like I love how much Paige Pierce just loves disc golf. Like she sat there for the girls and with for the win, but then she was standing next to Kyle Klein watching the phone, was like, here's what needs to be done. Here's this, like helping him through and stay calm and like talking to him about it, and stayed for the win and celebrated. Like she didn't have to sit there and stay for the guys to play the whole time. And she was standing right there. So it's like cool to see her, like no matter what, how she plays or does whatever, like she is there for disc golf. So whenever she is ready to be done, I already know she's going to be like an announcer or something big in the community still. But I just want to shout that out, that was cool. Like she didn't even, didn't play. I don't know what position she played or placed, but like she stayed the whole time after she was done and then stayed for the guys too. Like that's a disc golfer lover.
It was down there. But yeah, other than that, to kind of wrap up this, so we're gonna move on to the preview for next week. You were right. They did actually, because I'm looking at their scores, all across down the board for round 3. You could tell that they missed, or they skipped hole 12, hole 15, and 16. So they did miss 3 of them. But they were pretty.
Who all missed?
All of them.
All of them did. Okay.
No, because they said that from the beginning that they're all skipping it. So like if you literally go all across down the board, every single buddy got a par, which was just 3.
Yeah.
Which there's no way that 108 of them all got par 3s on 12, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
Because the thing is 12 it's a 375 par, which that should be pretty much a, you know, putt approach. You need just a pitch up for these guys at this point. 15 is 345 and then 16 is 375. So like these were like not that giving holes. I mean, those you got birdies pretty much. And that was pretty
Yeah.
much it on that. But at the same time though, this to me to be honest, this week was a birdie or die. Like that, those are 3 extra birdies that somebody could have gotten and gain while somebody just got a par. So that could have been very demanding on, you know, a different layout potentially. But we'll never know. But I do want to say congratulations to Nicholas.
Amazing win. Amazing.
Super great. I don't want to discredit any of that whatsoever. And then also Kyle Klein almost winning off of the 3rd card, which that would have been cool to also experience him winning that. But yeah, let's move on. So this weekend coming up, we want to represent this, and I think it's just really cool. We have the 2024 United States Women's Disc Golf Championship presented by Mint Disc, which I don't know, Kyle, we might have to look at some Mint Disc because Mason Ford has been popping off and he has been staying very consistent. Obviously, he's sponsored by Mint Disc. So I don't think I have any Mint Disc, but I might have to look at some of their disposals because I don't know what's been going on with him, but he has been popping off randomly. That's another honorable mention that's been going on. But other than that, we did mention, like I said, because it is just FPO this week, to my knowledge, it's just
it's just FPO.
Yeah, there's no NPO for at a different random spot. We're gonna pick six FPOs because why not?
Yeah.
So
I'll start this. I don't think I've started yet.
No,
we've been just going in order, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, and then also you could go through your reasonings, so that's how we could just.
So I'll start us off this week.
Push it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Kristen Tatar. It's a 4-day event. 3 days a little bit more questionable, but 4 days, I don't really need to explain a whole lot. Kristen. I actually have as much as I love Owen, and I love watching her play, and she's probably the 2nd best player right now in, I'd say, the FPO, most consistent and everything else. I actually have big money Missy. She usually does really well in these bigger 4-day events as well. Missy's another one that could randomly pop off and win this event just because it's what she does. She's really good at them. And then after that, I am going with Own. That will be number 3 spot. Again, very consistent, but I don't know, just 4 days, it's a lot. Valina still playing really solid. Had some blunders this weekend, but yet she's, overall still playing pretty good disc golf. But I've really enjoyed watching her play. 4-day event. I don't know. I really like her for at least 4th place. Holly Hanley, I didn't do too well at the Austin Open, but she's been pretty consistent for the most part at the season and the end of last year. And I am going to pick number 6, Henna. Hopefully she fixed some of her putting woes, but like I said, it's usually one blow up hole, and maybe this is why she finishes 6th. She might try to finish the top 3 or 4th, and then she might miss a couple putts that will, have her ending up in number 6. But that's my top 6. I have Tatar, Missy, Own, Evelina, Hanley, and Henna.
Awesome. I'll go next. So first place, obviously, Kristen Tatar. I just feel comfortable putting her in first because of 4th. I feel like Austin Open, if it was 4 rounds, I really do feel like she would have gave Owen some trouble there. So it could have gone either way, I felt like, if it was. But that's why I think, honestly, I wish each week was 4, but it's okay. I'd like the 3 rounds at times. It makes it difficult for people to, you have to, each round means something. It's interesting how we talk about it where it's like, oh, the first round's like placement, but then like second round they call it the moving day. And then it's just like it's always that. It's always like first round's like, okay,
Mhm.
we'll play some. Second day is moving day where you have to move, you have to do whatever, which is true. And then the third round is like potential last minute grinders or people that just need to stay consistent throughout. And so it's just interesting how they kind of call like that, which is fine. But I think Owen's kind of on a hot streak, even though her last interview they asked her, they're like, how do you feel? She goes, I don't know. It could be anybody's week. She's like, I thought this week I was gonna do terrible, but I did great. So because last year she didn't do well at all. So she ended up taking it down this year, obviously. So I have her for second. I put Ella Hansen in. I just don't think she's gonna win, but at the same time, though, I feel like she's gonna do well.
Mm.
But at the same time, she always gets in her head on that third round. I don't know why. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's just more coverage or she just feels pressured for some reason, but she's just something happens to her. I don't know mentally what's going on there. Fourth, I have as Holland Hanley. I mean, I've been picking her almost every week now, and she's been kind of showing up, kind of not. Last week she didn't really show up, but we'll see. And then fifth place I have Missy Gannon. Um, I just feel like she's gonna do well, but not too much. And sixth, this is kind of an important. I think this might be a little shine. She did not do well at all this week from the Austin of Open, but I'm sorry, the Open of Austin. But I just think Paige Pierce is gonna come in sixth place. I just feel like this week is kind of gonna be a comeback. This is a more important week, I think, and definitely she plays better when it really needs to really need to show up. So I just really have a feeling that she could play some consistent golf and be able to show. So first, Kristen, second, Own, third, Ella, fourth, Holland, fifth, Missy, and sixth, Paige Pierce. That are my picks for the week.
All right. So Kyle and I tend to pick the same people without trying, just different order. But so I have in first place, I have Tatar. Obviously, like I said, she's she's my number one, but it's also she knows how to control 4 day events. She knows that she's got time to make up if she has to start slow or anything like that. She does amazing. I have in second, I have Own. She's on a hot streak. I just feel like she's playing her best golf right now. Um, third, I have Evelina. She did have she has her some hiccups, but in general, all around, her gameplay is so much better. Her putting is so much better. And she does, the last time we've had a 4 day, I mean, she did really good. So I feel like she just needs that extra little gap to make up if she messes up. Um, in fourth, I have Missy Gannon. She's just been consistently up in the top 5 or even 10 this whole entire time. But now that we're doing 6, I can pit her. Um, and then I have Henna in fifth. Um, hoping that she gets some of her putting down, but she's been consistently a name that's been getting thrown or shown her playing throughout. And then in sixth place, I have Holland. She's been up there. Obviously, last week I picked her. She did not do good, but the other few times that we've already played, she's been up there. So my order again is Tatar, Own, Evelina, Gannon, Henna, and then Holland.
All right. There you have it. So yeah, so we're very excited for it. Sarah and I will actually be in Seattle this weekend. So the hopefully we'll be able to watch some of it. Thursday we're traveling. We don't technically leave until a little bit later, so we might be able to finish FPO at least first round. Friday we're kind of
My question is, do they start at the same time or do they start later since it's just them?
That is a good question.
Because usually they have to start earlier, but if it's just them, do they have
I
a
guess it's a little later. It'll be more like the MPO schedule.
okay? I just didn't know. I was like,
Yeah, we'll
it's
find
just
out.
them.
But also at the same time, though, they do have it's FPL, but then they also have FPL 40, FPL 50,
Yeah, it's
FPL
all
Yeah, so that's
55,
the
FPL 60.
ones. Those are the ones that will start earlier.
early.
Yeah.
So the pros
So
will be you're going to get the afternoon starts for the lead card,
Mhm.
BGN.
it's all the way down to junior 10. Yeah, they
Yeah.
have junior 10, junior 12, junior 15, junior 15. Yeah, they have it all the way up to then 4, FA4, FA3, 2, 1, and then you get into the pros. So yeah, so they have all of that, which could be a good amount of people. But we're in Seattle. So we're gonna be covering of course the 4. Monday and Tuesday when we try to record it. So we normally did it on Sundays, but we just find it's a little bit easier to do it Monday or Tuesday. Um we'll be still in Seattle. So we're gonna find some time. Obviously, we are gonna be in an Airbnb, so we're gonna be kind of doing it, I guess, how the pro or the tour life does it. So a little bit better Wi-Fi, I hope. So but we might be Sarah and I at least might be on the same screen for that week just to make it easier. And
Mhm.
then we could next or obviously we'll get back to regular schedule the following week. But um yeah, other than that, I think that is it for the Ronnie's Corner part.
Yes.
So
Alright.
any final things you want to say before peace in?
No, I think we talked a lot, so I think we're good. Yeah, I'm have a lot of strong opinions, obviously, but I love disc golf, so here we are.
Sounds good. Well, thank you as always.
Of course, of course. Also, just want to note that I am still winning, so we'll see.
Mm,
Switching
You
this
know.
week.
just wait until this week when I get 100% on my
Okay.
Exactly.
Sure.
Mm,
All right. Peace out.
say yes.
All right.
Welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it was a little bit longer than we intended on doing, but that's pretty much going to be most of our pod right there. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that. We enjoyed a lot. It's a lot easier having another person on, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
talking and having fun here. So it's just great to have an addition of Sarah just being a part of this, and it's been super amazing. But like I mentioned, Kyle, let's talk about gravity disc golf and how we're about to launch into a whole nother history here.
Yes.
But I
Out of
believe
this world.
somebody just joined disc golf and or gravity disc golf, and I am very excited that we have this person on because he's just super cool to be a part of.
Yep.
But
I am super stoked about it as well. We're stepping up our game. Gravity Disc Golf has signed a pro tour player. They haven't announced. They sent out a little spoiler on Facebook, but they haven't officially posted on Facebook or anything. But as we said earlier, if you just go to gravitydiscgolf.com, it's right there on the front page. His picture is right there. And I just want to say, Alden Harris, welcome to the team. Welcome to the G Squad. I am so stoked to have you here. Like when I heard the news, what was it, like 2 days ago or a day ago? And I reached out to you. I'm like, yo, we got something happening here. I was super stoked and excited about this. It's just cool to
Yeah.
have Gravity stepping up their game to the point where we could sign on a player like Alden, especially with the stamps and everything else. It fits Alden Harris. I think that some elephant space stamps going on here at Gravity. Maybe that'd be amazing.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be really cool. I was super excited about it. Obviously I've been really busy today, but immediately I saw that in the group thread because obviously we're on the team as well. So we got to see the group thread and immediately was just like, hey, this is what's happening. And then I was late. I'm one of those people that I will every day I get our mail, but then I just put it on our pile on our island and I just don't touch it. So I saw the magazine because obviously PDJ member, you get the quarterly magazines. And so I saw it come in and I'm just like, oh, I'll just save this for later to like read it. And not even thinking much of it. Saw the announcement of him joining, and of course they're like, keep it a secret. We haven't launched it yet, which now they have. So now we're talking about it. But I open up the magazine, not even 2 pages in, it boom, right there, gravity disc off, and they're like, somebody is landing, like, this has whatever. But which I thought was really, really cool. They actually had the actual teaser on it where if you coded it, it actually said Alden Harris's initial and his actual PDJ number. And if you did that, which I thought was really cool, that was a really fun creative way of like creating some cool like hidden clues inside the actual thing. Just how they did that was really well done. I really liked how they did that. But also probably one other spoiler on that was, if you know Alden Harris, he loves holding his disc with his towel right there
Oh,
when he's
yep.
when he's doing when he's doing his like measure up and stuff. That's an Alden Harris just typical move. And that's what honestly kind of gave the cake right there, because you can't see his face because obviously there's their astronaut helmet on him, so you can't really tell. But I mean, really honestly, if you know the kid, like if you know his meaner with that, immediately it's just right there, like it was him. So, but I'm excited just to see it, just to see him represent that. I think it's really cool that he's a part of that. And also it's just cool just to see just this manufacturer being able to level up. So,
Oh, for sure. Just help continue to grow Gravity Disc Golf. It's really fun, really awesome. And again, like I said, welcome Alden Harris. Welcome to the G Squad.
welcome,
Excited to
welcome,
have you here.
welcome. But yeah, let's get down to it. So, you were fortunate enough to actually play a flex start last weekend.
Yes.
And also I believe you got a little surprise as well from said flex start. So if you want to talk
The
about
next
that
day.
as
But
the
yes.
next day, whatever. You still got it during that period time. So if you
Yeah.
want to talk about it, I do know that you said you did struggle a bit.
Our
But
putting was so bad.
but yeah,
Especially down the stretch. It just kept getting colder and colder and everything else. And
so
it was not
it's
a
the
good
cold.
weather day. Yeah,
Like you
cold
said,
and windy.
you don't really play well in the cold. So
Nope. But I got a +6, so that's like probably the best round I've had there. Mississippi is a pretty tough course for what it is.
yeah.
But there was a flex start. I challenged Josh Howard. Yes, he beat me. I'll give him this round. Like I told him, gave him an early start. Didn't call him a couple foot faults and stuff like that. Let him get away with some stuff, just so he won. I'm just, I'm just messing. He'll start laughing and know exactly what I'm talking about. No, but he beat me fair and square. You know what I mean? Like, it was out there to have fun and everything else. But I finished third. I still finished third. So technically I podiumed.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. It was cold, windy. Obviously, we all have to play through it. I cannot stand playing in the cold. you know this. I go playing every time I go out to the playing court. I'm just like, I'm not having a good. I'm having a good time, but like it's just like me
You're just
throwing
getting the
and
reps in,
playing and not,
honestly.
not exactly. Not fun.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with that.
miss my putting was so bad. The wind didn't help, but just in general, my putting was just so off. I had a 15-foot birdie, 10-foot birdie, kicked it off the bottom of the basket. Like it should not have happened. Um, I two putted. I went for a birdie, threw it way past it. Went to hit the par, hit it right underneath it, and then back in for the bogey. Just things like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just it was so bad. Especially down towards the end of the round. I started out well, uh, keeping up, got a birdie, missed a birdie, which I should have gotten, but overall par throughout the course. But the final like 5 holes or so, maybe a few more extra before that, I kept gaining up scores, and it just was not working well. But
Yeah.
overall, extremely fun. Thank you, Maverick, for putting it on. It was for St. Patty's Day. Of St. Patty's Day Flex. Like I said, just wish it was warmer. The day before was like 58 degrees.
Yeah.
Beautiful out. And it went to 38 was the high or something like that. It just went. And as the day went on, as we played, it just the temp just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So, um, that was not fun. But
Yeah, it's been low 40s, low 50s here, which I know that doesn't sound as cold, but it is a different type of cold down here because of the
mhm.
humidity. It's weird. It's a weird feel to it. Um, but I do want to mention because I did see him. He was obviously Maverick is amazing with what he does with a lot of stuff in the community, stuff like that. I do know that he's very hard on himself, and I did see that he was having difficulties with the technical side issues and stuff. And
Oh,
then,
yes, actually, I
do you
wanted to
want to you
bring
want
that
to talk
up.
about that?
Yeah. So this is an issue that like he brought up too, which it is frustrating because technically everybody has to score
Yeah.
on a card. Issue is what the heck are you supposed to do when one person on the card can't add one person and the other person can't add the other?
Okay.
So we had an issue where Josh, like if I was put, I was trying to add Josh to my scorecard, it would not let me add Josh. I click on his name, it wouldn't let me add him. Everybody else, it would let me add him. Josh couldn't add everybody else, but couldn't add me. Don't know what was going on. And I guess it was happening all day. They want us all to keep score, and I like that, and I get that. When you're having, this is the problem with the technical
Yeah.
side of it. This is why scorecards are a really nice thing to have too.
Yeah.
So if you can get at least 2 people on the scorecard, keeping on pdga, have somebody else do it on paper, have one other person to do it on UDisc, I don't see any reason not to be okay with that. And that's what we had to do. So I added the other 3 guys and myself, and then Josh added everybody else but me. So we still kept scorecards, so all the scores were still entering in. He just wasn't entering mine, and I wasn't entering his.
Yeah.
And then the other guy was doing it on UDisc because he couldn't even get in to add anybody else. So it was really weird. Technical issues. So that side of it, and like I said, I get it. I get why you do it to make sure everybody is definitely putting in that right numbers, the right scores, because who knows if the person that's doing the actual PDGA one is messing something up, here and there just purposely, and then you get to the end, it's like, oh, I thought you got this on this. Oh no, no, you know what I mean? So it makes sense on why you do it, but trying to make sure that everybody can add everybody, it was a hassle. It was not a good time for Maverick during that, but we worked it out. We got it through,
Yeah, that's aggravating. Yeah, because obviously like during tournament, because like the one that we did tournament play, it there was no issues. Everything ran smoothly. So like for that side, it was good on our part where there was no issues. So But yeah, no, I did see that message and I was like, oh dang, like, or the post, and I was like, dang, like I really want to know like what was going on. Um, but yeah, it was no, that's cool. So how many people were in your uh division,
I
and
think it was just 6 or 7.
what did you finish?
Third.
Third?
I got third. Yeah.
Nice. Not a
Yep.
problem
Yep.
at all. So yeah, no,
Nope. Nope.
that's really cool. Um, no, yeah,
Also,
that's okay. Yeah, yeah. What?
I traded my first run beer, and I finally got my hands on. Nobody probably can tell what this is because the stamp is a limited stamp.
But you could tell that's an MVP though by the rim.
Yes, it is a pixel. I finally got
Yes,
my hands on one. So excited.
finally
I
got one.
traded Maverick. He wasn't a fan of the stamp. I love the stamp. Um, and so he loves bears. That's his favorite disc. So I have a first run one. So I'll give him that if he wants to give me this pixel because I really want to get my hands on one to putt with it and feel it and see how it feels and everything
Yeah.
else. So today I went out and I made a video. So there will be a video on its way on my YouTube channel. I haven't had a video out in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked to have that coming out. It will be me kind of comparing the Pixel to the P2 because Simon used to throw the P2s. I used to throw the P2s. I figured it'd be somewhat similar in a way, because that's what he liked and enjoyed. Um, you get my full thoughts on there, but overall though, like so P2s are a little, like as you said, a little deeper, but not much. The rim feels very much like a P2. And I love that. And it's straighter.
Yeah.
So I went out there today. I really like it, and I think it's going in my bag pretty damn quick. I think it's going in there.
What's like the mold on it? Like, is it a softer mold, or is it more firm?
It feels soft. I don't think it's firm. It feels soft. But I heard though too that some of the runs though, the soft and the firm didn't feel a whole lot different.
Yeah.
I heard they kind of had that issue, so they do have a new run coming of the firm to make sure it's more firm. It does feel pretty gummy and so, but I will say though, what I love about it is the tackiness on it.
Mm,
like I grip it, like it
yeah.
feels really
I agree with
dang
that.
good.
That's how mine feels. Um, yeah, I wish I was able to get the I don't know why, but I really love that the game looking one, like the 8-bit or 16-bit,
Hmm.
what do you want to call that?
Yeah, yep.
Um, like I, I I wanted to get my hands on one of those, which I probably hopefully will eventually. I mean, I know they're gonna be making a ton, so I'll just snag them in one of the runs. I don't
Hmm.
know, maybe my player pack might have one. I don't really know. So I didn't ask for it. I just asked for MVP stuff. So
Yeah, no,
Ep16
it's definitely
April.
going in bag. I'll probably start putting with them too because they felt really good putting with.
Yeah.
So I think my fierce is gonna come out and this is gonna go right in.
No, yeah, that's good. That was awesome to hear. But yeah, other than that, that's
Do you
really
have any
cool that
videos coming?
so I have some ideas. So I I need to finish because I have a ton of flights obviously coming up because we're going to
Mhm.
Seattle. So the traveling literally from Destin to Seattle, it's literally all day. So I mean the flights they're pretty hefty. We flying American, so obviously headquarters for American, if nobody knows, is actually Dallas. So it does kind of split up the flights a little bit, but the Dallas to Seattle is very much of a hefty flight. That's like almost three and a half, give or take. Um, but when we're coming back home, we actually have a red eye, which um goes in through the night, which I'll sleep, but we're actually stuck in the airport at our layover in Dallas for 3.5 hours. So
Oh,
for
geez.
that 3.5 hours, I'm probably gonna just grab some breakfast somewhere and just stay up and just start grinding out um edits in the airport. So I do have obviously the first vlog for um the tournament that I did back in, I don't know, January, February. I still want to post that just to have it post. I have the one that I was testing out some of the bergs. I might add that. It's really short.
It's
But
fine.
other than that, that's fine. I did my thing live with you guys on the pod, so like there's really no point for like really doing that. I might cut that part out and just add it
Mhm.
on my video. But a fun one is my brother's coming down for spring break right when we get back from Seattle.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to take him to Universal the day after we get back. So like he is flying into Orlando on the 27th. So that's how on the 28th we could go to Universal because he's never been there before. And he's obviously we grew up not watching Harry Potter or anything like that. So he actually when he was down here, he because last year he came down for the week for his spring break. And in that week, he pretty much watched the entire Harry Potter series, like every single night.
Hmm.
He would just watch one, and absolutely loves it. He keeps watching it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like this is amazing! Like I can't believe it took me this long to watch him." Which obviously I was the same way, and so he's has a liking of it, and so we're going to be taking Universal to experience, the Wizarding World and all that, which is really cool. But when we get back, he absolutely loves disc golf. He has a newer.
Nice.
I gave him a good amount of my disc through the mail because he actually goes to Mizzou, which I don't know if anybody knows. But I don't know if anybody like really follows college disc golf, but Mizzou was undefeated for like back to back like college champions. They actually have a really good disc golf team. He is not on that, but he's actually a collegiate athlete for baseball. So he's a baseball player. So and he pitches. So most of his strength is forehand, obviously, because it's
Hmm.
just like throwing a baseball. So he absolutely loves playing disc golf and he's getting into it a little bit more. Um, I don't think he will ever get really competitively. I don't think he never really mentioned it, but I think it'd be cool if he gets into it like that. But uh with that being him coming, obviously he wants to come and play. So I think it would be cool to do a video of having him play with me, but then that would be technically my see if I could beat my plus 11, but obviously be playing with him. So we'll make content with that. So I think
Yeah,
it'd
that'd
be
be really
cool.
cool. Hmm.
Also, it's enjoyable because actually I have somebody there. So then I could bring, more of the gear and then, we'll be able to, play a cool round. And it gives me back, playing. Because I haven't played in a minute. Like I said, like really the only time I've really played this year, sadly, has been that tournament. So it would be nice to see what my thing is now because like my bag has completely changed in
Hmm.
retrospect, even though I really haven't tried any of my newer disc. But like I have a lot of disc that I haven't had for a couple months now back in my bag. Like I have, all Raptors back. I have even a Wraith back, and a couple newer discs that I need to try that, to be see what it is and potentially newer putts and stuff. I definitely am excited to see like what that entails. So I'm definitely gonna throw hopefully before starting there is a field there where I will probably throw the newer ones just to see what they do. before I actually throw them, because I don't want to just throw them freshly on a hole and I have no idea how they are, because I do not want to lose them. That's the main purpose of that. But yeah, I definitely that's going to be good. So I have that actually locked in and plan to record that round. And which I haven't asked him yet, but I didn't know if there was even like a potential opportunity as well. Is I think it'd be really cool um if we think it's good content to have him potentially on this to talk about a new disc golfer, on figuring out like why he likes it,
Right.
what the reasoning is and stuff like that, because it'll be here when we technically are supposed to record. So I think it'd be cool to get some insight on him on that. If he wants
Oh,
to.
definitely.
I don't know if he will be interested in that or not, but I think it'd be cool to ask some questions to him and see what his thoughts are with disc golf. And because like I said, he's like still he's fresh. So it's just interesting to see what his thoughts are if he wants to,
Right,
obviously.
right.
So
Yeah. No, that'd be fun. That
other than
would
that,
definitely be fun.
I'm really trying to hone in on all my content that I want to make for April. Um, especially for Walnut Open. I think I'm gonna create a series for that. Um, obviously a series of traveling up, showing like how I travel through the airport with it. Because obviously I'm flying, so like I want to showcase that whole aspect of it, of like how that is. Because I don't see any pros even talking about that. A lot of people fly, but they don't really explain like what they do or how they do it and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious on the procedure on that. Because I mean, obviously it is a book bag, but I don't
Right, right.
know. To my knowledge, it's a little bit more wide, so I don't think it really fits under the the seat in front of you like it's supposed to. I think it's going to have to be an overhead. So I'm just kind of curious on like how that all works. So, but yeah, we'll figure it out. The only thing I'm concerned about is my chalk bag. Um, technically it is, that powder residue. So I feel
Mhm.
like they're going to have to check it immediately. That's the only concern that I have, is like obviously like they're not going to throw it away, but that's the only thing that I have is because like I know there's people that would bring protein, like the protein powder, and their bag will get snatched immediately and figure out what it is. That's the only thing that I'm kind of concerned, is because my chalk is kind of more of that climber chalk feel. So that's the only concerns that I have. Other than that, um I think it'll be okay. I don't really know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, like you said, you'll film it and figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. And then as long as they don't take it. So that's all that matters. Like, yeah, I'll be
Mhm.
really upset about that. Um, but yeah, it's just I think it'd be kind of cool to experience it. I haven't really figured out like another really way to really do this. Like, besides like driving up there, which I don't absolutely want to do that at all. And then my other option that I was thinking of was like shipping my bag to you guys, but I just feel like there's so many variables on that where like could get
There's
lost.
there's so many variables.
Yeah, where like because I was
You
thinking of
may
just
not even
like
have it.
I was thinking of like just shipping the bag, and then like
Oh, okay.
carry all my disc in a like carry-on bag,
Hmm.
like doing it like that. My other second thought, which still is very dicey depending, is putting my bag in a checked bag
Oh, okay.
where it just goes under, because obviously
Mhm.
there's nothing involving that where it's, you know, against any rules. But once again, though, like just the slim odds of them randomly misplacing. Like have never had an issue
Right.
with that, but
Right,
it's just
right.
like you never know what can happen. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but I have thought about where like if I just check it in, then if I check it in, but have at least the disc with me, or at least some of the disc with me, just in case something goes wrong, I'll be okay. So I'm thinking about just doing that where I might just check the bag and then have like 5 or 6 main disc with me and just have them with me for like a carry on. So I
Mhm.
might just do that. So, but yeah,
Yeah, it'll be a fun
um,
series.
I think it'd be fun. I'm just not sure what to do, but I think it'd be really cool though, because like I said, I want to do a series of that series of us practicing, which is will just be our round, just a regular round play.
Yep.
If Josh is interested with his dub partner, I think it'd be really cool to doing a Weekend Warrior podcast versus some bands. I think that would be fun to do. If he's interested in doing that potentially Friday, because that would probably be the only time, unless we do it Friday evening or Saturday evening. Um, but I know that we want to try to go to the pro tour
Right, right,
on
right.
Saturday, so that might be just all day thing for us. Um, and then obviously I know I can't get professional stuff, but I was at least hoping to do a phone vlog of the pro tour of what's happening.
Oh no, that 100%.
And then getting us seeing that, doing that, and getting some cool video of some tours, which I definitely got to make sure I have the proper disc because I definitely want to try to get some signatures. I don't know like
Mhm.
how much time we have, or like I said, I've never been to that before, so I don't know like how easy that is to get signatures from people. But
Usually there's a area that the players walk through that people will stand and kind of get signatures,
that's cool. Yeah, because
like at the end
there's
of
a
the round as they're
few
walking by and stuff.
that I would like to get. So
Yeah.
like I think it'd be cool. Obviously, there's a lot of like random signature style
Mhm.
disc that I won't like to get, but like I think it'd be cool if I could get like Simon on his Pixel, Eagle on
Mhm.
his Rebirth, um, Tatar on the Grays, you know, just all of that. Maybe Paul and Beth on my Luna, my blue unit Luna, and finally officially retire that one.
Right. Yep. That thing's pretty much, yeah.
Finally retire it, just wall hang it. Um, yeah, just a lot of just potential things that we could do for there. But other than that, and then morning of vlog of us going through.
But yeah, other than that, like I said, I do got a video coming out with the Pixel and there my P2 in there too, just to kind of get the um sense of both of them, obviously, but there's some really bad it's super windy. There's some pretty bad shots in there, but you know what? Wind's wind though. You got to deal with it anyway. So it gives a good idea of how it reacts in the wind as well. But other than that, like I said, I have that video coming out. I got to work on editing that. Um, so keep a lookout on that. And till then,
Awesome. Well, thank you again. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, we'll I'm excited to see that. And then I just need to get into the other things because I right now I like I said, I added another client and so it's a lot of work right
Mhm.
now, but we're getting there with the flow, so that's all that matters. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for this. I apologize if this podcast is going to be a little bit longer for this one, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. And other than that, guys, we'll see you guys next week. And Sarah and I, like I said, we'll be in Seattle. So we'll see ya, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week and have a wonderful day and keep playing disc golf, guys. We are signing out.